Hello and welcome to Susie B Living's Moonphase gardening series. So this week we're going to be finished January and we go into February, and it all starts to kind of ramp up with the work that I am going to be doing, because February is when the light increases, so growth starts again with all our plants, and so it's very, very exciting. So let's talk about what I'm going to be sowing and what I'm going to be growing in the next coming week. This is the week of Monday the 29th of January to Sunday the 4th of February. So Monday the 29th of January is Fruits Day. Fruits Day was also today and yesterday as well. I got quite a lot done. But if you want to do anything on Fruits Day tomorrow and you've got time to do something, then I recommend that you start sowing, if you haven't already, your chilies and sweet peppers for the season. Because we're wriggling on now. And if you live anywhere like I live, I'm in a zone 8 here in the UK. We don't have a really long growing season for peppers and chilies, so you kind of need to get them in and sown as soon as possible. I am not sowing anything this time round because I am up to date with my chilies and my peppers. I just today transplanted my tiny little seedlings that I had of some chilies, and I've put them into the next modules, the next cells. I'll do a video of that to show you what I've done of me pricking out my peppers and potting them on. So everything's good. I also have another tray on the go under grow lights downstairs in my grow tents, and then I have another tray in the heated propagator. So that's okay for me at the moment. My next sowing of chilies and sweet peppers is going to be on the 6th, 7th and 8th of February. They then become my kind of main crop chilies and peppers. They are the ones that I will then use for preserving chutneys, chili jams, all of that kind of business. The ones that I did earlier, that I did in December and the beginning of January, are the ones that I'm going to eat fresh. And they go in the greenhouse for a bit, and then they stay in pots, and then they go outside against a warm wall somewhere or other. The ones that I'm doing in February, then they go out into the garden, into garden beds. So that is the sowing. My for transplanting, if you have got any chilies on the go and they've got at least 3 real leaves, not the little first ones that come through, then you can prick them out and start potting those on as well. They then stay in the trays or in the modules that I've got them in. They'll stay there for about 6 weeks, and then I pot them on again. If you also have any broad beans that you want to sow, get them sown either in modules or directly in the ground. Broad beans are really, really tough. And also some early peas. I've just uploaded a video on YouTube of me sowing my early peas and why I sow my early peas. So if you want to go and have a look at that, you're more than welcome to, and I talk about the varieties. The main varieties at this time of year are Oregon Sugar Pod and a Sugar Snap as well. Weeding and maintenance. If you have got any broad beans in the ground or broad beans in modules, just check them out. You might need to give them a water if they're in the modules, probably not in the ground, but just check them for any kind of rot, any pests. If they haven't come up yet, I had someone get in touch with me the other day on Instagram and said that they sowed their broad beans 2 weeks ago and nothing had come up yet. Don't panic. If you want to, have a little scrabble around and see if anything is rotted. If they have rotted, then you can always sow again. So, and also check any peas that you might have in modules as well. I've got 2 big pots in the greenhouse of my really early peas. They're doing very, very well. I'm very happy with that. And that's that. Watering and feeding, just any seedlings that you've got, really. Nothing else needs feeding or, well, feeding really. Okay, that's Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday on, so it's Tuesday the 30th, Wednesday the 31st, Thursday the 1st and Friday the 2nd of February are all... I'm still not... Siri's talking to me. Are all roots days. Okay, so I always sow my main crop onions in February, and it's usually kind of mid to late February. However, onion seed doesn't have a tendency to last for long. So if you have got onion seed and it's old, it probably won't really work. You really do need fresh onion seed. But what I do is 2 weeks before or 10 days before I do my main crop sowing of onions, which is a lot of onions, I do a germination test. And so I have 2 red onions in particular that I really, really like. One is the normal one that we always like here in the UK, which is Red Baron. It's a great, great onion. And the other one, I can't show you a picture of it, but because I get my seeds from Mole Seeds, is called Carmen, Karmen. It's a red onion, but it's flatter. And it is delicious, really sweet and delicious. So I'm going to do a germination test of these because I don't want to go in 2 weeks time or 10 days time and think and sow and then germination's bad. I can't really afford that because I need them to be growing to get them into the ground because I am growing so many. So I'm only going to be doing 20 cells, modules of each of these. But in order to just not waste them, I'm going to sow them, multi-sow them. I'm going to put 6 seeds in each cell, and then I will eat them as spring onions or salad onions. So it's a win-win situation, really. So I'm going to do that, and that will be fine. And I did it last year, they were absolutely delicious. The other thing that I'm going to do my next batch of sowing is my radish. And I'm going to this time sow Scarlet Globe. Last time, in beginning of January, I sowed Cherry Bell, and they are ready to be transplanted out. I'm going to transplant them into my veggie pod. I've got 25 modules, little cells of Cherry Bell, and I think I've got three seedlings per module. So they then are going to be transplanted into my veggie pod. Now I'm going to be doing my Scarlet Globe ones, and I'm going to do a lot more. I'll probably do about 40 cells of these. And I might even increase the seedlings to 4 per module. As the light increases, you can start increasing your multi-sowing. So what I do is in the kind of winter, early spring and late autumn time, I decrease my multi-sowing to maybe 2-3 seedlings. But as the light increases and the growing increases much better, I then start putting in more seeds to multi-sow. So that's my germination test. That's what I'm going to be sowing. Transplanting radish, weeding and maintenance. I've got leeks, I've got garlic, I've got winter radish, I've got turnips. I'll check my ginger and my turmeric as well, and just check everything. Make sure there's no bugs and slugs and all that kind of business. Go over it all, take off the old leaves, and just do some maintenance to these plants. And for watering, just any seedlings that I've got. Okay, Saturday is Flowers Day, again on the Moonphase calendar, and Saturday is the 3rd of February. If you want to sow something, sow yourself some cauliflowers, and I particularly like the graffiti, which is the purple cauliflower. So you could do those, and then what will happen is you'll get a really early crop of cauliflowers. That's if you like cauliflowers. If you don't like cauliflowers, then you don't have to sow anything. If you have a look at my Moonphase gardening series last week, I talk about ornamental flowers in there as well. So I'm going to include ornamental flowers. So what I talked about then is still relevant for this week on Saturday as well. So I'm not going to repeat myself. Go and have a look at that video and you'll see what ornamental flowers I included. And then next time the flowers come up, I'll talk about February ornamental flowers as well. What have we got? Transplanting. I've got some calabres or broccoli, and I've got some small cauliflowers that I think I might transplant into the greenhouse on the allotment. I'm still thinking about whether they're strong enough. I have to tip them out of the pot and look at the root structure. I might. That's about all I've got for flowers at the moment, except for the ornamental flowers in the garden, which I will do some weeding and tidying up and all that kind of business. Sunday, the 4th of February, is Leaves Day again. Okay, so for my leaves, I'm going to be sowing some calyx. Do you know what calyx are? So I got these seeds from Germany. And in Germany, they're called Rosenkohl. They're a cross between a kale and a Brussels sprout. So they grow like a Brussels sprout, and they produce these little sprouts that are open like little kales, and they're absolutely delicious. I'm going to be sowing some of those because I just want some early ones in the autumn. I'm going to be doing my first batch of summer red cabbage. We like to have red cabbage all year round. I've still got red cabbage on the allotment. I've got some in the fridge here as well. We eat a lot of red cabbage. So the varieties that I grow at this time of year are Fuego. That is my #1 favorite summer cabbage. And one called Red Iodero. It's an F1 as well. Red Drumhead is also very good. That's kind of like an all year round cabbage. It works really, really well. So I'm going to sow a few of those as well. And then I'm going to also, as a little experiment, I'm going to sow an early Savoy cabbage because again, we like brassicas all year round. We're not really kind of winter brassica people. We like them all year round. And I'm going to sow some Savoy cabbage as well. I'll probably only do half a dozen. Weeding and maintenance, I have no transplanting. Well, I have to look at my seedlings and see whether I need to transplant or not. I've got some little kales on the go. I've got some the Asian greens won't be ready, but the kales might be. I'm going to have a look at them properly. Weeding and maintenance, I have lettuce, I've got Asian greens. They're the main things. I've got my kales, but I weeded those the other day. And just again, take off all the old leaves, make sure nothing's got stem rot. If it's got stem rot, take it out, and just, keep ticking over all the time. And then the only thing I'm going to be watering is seedlings again. So that is your week coming up. Like I said, February is here, and it's the light is going to increase very, very fast. Happy growing and gardening. I hope that you're all Moonphase gardening with me, and I hope that this schedule's helping as well. It helps me. So thank you for watching. My name's Susie B from Susie B Living, and I will see you next week for your next lot of Moonphase gardening. If you want to hit the subscribe button, and you will be notified of when I bring the video out. It's always on a Sunday night. And have a good week. See you later. Bye.